Hello, this is Jim, otherwise known as the Outdoor Outlaw. Today I'm going to explain what type of survival kit I carry. It's not a big one, but it will get me through if I need to survive. First of all, this is the tin. It's just a Rizla tobacco tin. As you can see, it's like one of the brand new ones. The thing is with these tins, yes, you can boil water in them, okay, for a drink. The one problem is with these, they rust. So all these survival tins, to be honest, are pretty useless. But in a pinch, then they come in handy. But I think you'd be better off buying a little stainless steel one, to be honest. But anyway, most people, when they show their survival kit, they unload it. Well, this I'm going to load, and I'll tell you for why. Because it's matter of importance what you need first. Okay, so the first thing is a whistle. You can put that in first, but still accessible. So I put it in on the edge like so, and you know what a whistle is. I don't need to explain it. Job done is quite loud. 6 times and you get attention. Okay, so it's always 6 times to get attention if you're in a SOS situation. Next, again, it's a little light. You can't see it really because it's too bright, so you can't really see it, but it's a good little light that goes in. Doesn't matter where, but just slot it in. God, mosquitoes, wow, today they're quite strong. Anyway, the next, yeah, I know, I've got a little temperature thing that tells me what type of temperature it is, and it's the same size as my little button compass. The reason I put the button compass, you really do not need to know where you are. The first thing you need to do is shelter out of the weather and food, so you can find out where you are later on. The next is a little capsule. Now this little capsule is when you are back in civilization. This is your emergency £10. So you put a little £10 in there. It's empty at the moment, but you put a little £10 in there. Yeah, you put a £10 in, empty, and I'm explaining it. You put a £10 in there. Yeah. Well, I'm not in a survival situation at the moment, am I? But if I was, I'd make sure there was a bloody tenner in there, just so you can make a phone call, buy yourself a hot meal, sorry. Job done, sorted. Next thing, now this is a lovely little knife. It's only small, but when you get the small, look at that. That's a lovely little knife. It's on a little clip as well, so you can clip it, but this is my little survival kit knife. I've got 2 actually, but this one is for the survival kit tin, and I put that at the bottom. But I also make sure that because it has a little, see the little loop on it? Right, I make sure that that is on the edge of the tin. So if I need it straight away, I can pull on the loop and it's out of the tin. Another thing, I wonder if you've ever seen these before. This is called an everlasting match, okay? You unscrew. Ah, this is so well used, it's unbelievable. You unscrew, then there's a little magnesium rod along here, and you strike it. I tell you what, this is marvellous. And put a bit of WD-40 in there, a bit of petrol, but there's all the little, there was a bit of lint around there, but it's all burnt out now. So now all it does is just spark. But hey, That's all you need, is a spark. That's got a little loop on it as well, so I put that in the corner, but it's quite a chunky piece, so you can literally put your finger in there to grab it. The next is a little fishing kit. As you can see, I haven't used it because I've never been fishing in my life, but if ever I get the chance and I'm in a survival situation, then I'm going to use this little fishing kit, obviously, because fish is a good source of food. So I just put that in there. Next, it's just a little lock knife. It's a good little knife, this, actually. It's quite, you know, it's got a little serrated edge just here, as you can see. Lovely little thing, and it's sharp. It doesn't take much just to put it across the stone and sharpen it, so I do like that little knife. I've got a candle. Now, a candle, I put that in one of the last because you would also always have a lighter in your pocket, and just pull the lighter out of your pocket. You can light the candle. Instant heat, you know, instant heat, haven't you? You just put your hands over it, nice, gentle. You can feel the rise of the heat on the, so you can just warm up your hands just a little bit, just so you can do your daily tasks. So a candle is a necessary on top of your survival kit, because that is instant heat. As long as you're not out in a bloody, I don't mean if you're out in the snowfields and God knows what I mean, but that, if you're in a shelter, that is instant heat. And then I've got a little saw blade and a magnesium rod again, and it's just spark. So I've got two types of spark. So that, and the last thing is sterilizing tablets. I never use these things. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if you you would use these if you're going to drink out of the River Thames, okay, to boil your water. You'd boil it and still put these in. Otherwise you'd get all that bloody, I don't know what those diseases are, cryptosporidium and stuff like that. But I'm out in the Highlands, and the Highlands of Scotland, these streams and that, you boil the water, but when you get into the mountains, you could drink the water from the mountains straight away. You know, most places of the world, you could drink the water straight out of the mountains. In Austria, Switzerland, Albania, former Yugoslavia, I was drinking the water straight out of the mountains, out of the streams. It was lovely, you know, and the locals actually bragged about how good their water was. But anyway, sterilized tablets, you know, if you want to sterilize your water, I don't use them. I'm not really into them, but so that's my little survival kit. I know it's not a big one. I know people put a lot of they cram theirs full to the brim. You don't need to. Yeah, all right, to stop it rattling. And yes, I did have cotton wool in there, but I've run out of the cotton wool because I used it on a couple of fires ago. So, but that's the survival kit done. Fits in there nice and easy. Sorry about that, mossies. It fits in there nice and easy, and I don't need to panic about that. This, I'm not going to go right through it, but this is just emergency. There's a sewing kit in here, and yeah, you would put a sewing kit in your survival kit, but I've no need for you know, unless I've got a wound and I need to stitch it up, which, sod that, it's a bit of duct tape over the top of it. I ain't gonna fucking be all brave and Rambo and get a needle and go like this into my skin. That's for the slightly insane. Well, I'm not insane, I'm just crazy. But this is just my sewing kit, and it's great. I've got a couple of buttons in here. I've got a few little string buckles, you know, when you want to do a locking mechanism on the you know, when you get the toggles and you press the button and push it up. Well, that's a couple of those for emergencies in case I lose one, and a little pair of scissors and a pair of spare bootlaces. because that's all I need in there. And that's my little sewing kit. So basically that's all I've got, and my little sharpening stone, you know, which is, I'll tell you what, that's an excellent piece of kit, that is. I do like that, because you can do it wet or dry. Now what I found is you get a let's be blunt about it, you get a nice greenie like that and put that on there, because it's nice and oily and it's greasy, and you're rubbing slowly and doing it nice and gentle on the, I'll tell you what, the blade comes up really well. Whereas if you just use a little bit of water, a little bit of ordinary spit, it's not so good. But a greenie, it does, surprisingly enough, it works quite well. You just rub the greenie in a bit like that, you know, to make it oily and smooth, and then straight the braid, and it works marvellous. Works far better than the spit and water. And that's that. And then just my little range of bands, and I explained what these are for. You know, you put them over your wrist. I wrap them around my tin as well, and yeah, I just wrap them around my wrist and my legs to keep my oh, and I said in my first or second video, I said I only had 3, but I found one. It's marvellous, isn't it? I said I needed 4 of them, and I said I found one walking on the road. So now I've got me 4. So I've got one for each ankle, 1 for each wrist. Yeah, marvellous. But the trouble is they're a bit tight around the ankles, and because I tried them the other day, yeah, they are a bit tight. But around the wrists they're okay. Well, that's why they're called wristbands. They're not called ankle bands. But anyway, if you like what I say, then comment. You can say anything you like. You can call me anything you want. Just don't call me Shirley. Okay? Speak to you soon. Have a great life, people. Ta-da now. Bye. Bye.